really?
Yeah,
Meal times, huh?
because people, I guess, use their phone
Right.
when they eat.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm.
Hey, hi guys, hi everybody. Welcome to Acting from All Angles. Today we're going to be talking about emotions, collecting emotions, making an emotion basket, like flowers kind of thing. It's going to be really cool. But first, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Julianne Lichty Stratton. I'm the creator of Actors in Action, Conservatory of Film and Theater, where we empower the passionate actor with the craft, skills, and freedom to have a serious acting career. And here I have with me today Joshua Stallings. He is one of my actors. He's been training for a while now, and he's also he's an assistant of mine. He's the good assistant. I have a good assistant and I have a bad assistant, and the bad assistant looks a lot like me, and she gets things screwed up a lot, and she gets tired, and she gets upset, and she doesn't get things done right. But he does a great job. So anyway, yeah. So we just went over here working on some new stuff we're going to do, and he's going to help me do the Facebook Live today. So I'm excited about this. All right. So in my classes, I have this 78 page book that it's like it's got like everything in it. It's really pretty cool. And something that we do is we have these emotion trees. I'm going to show you this. Can you see that? Can't really see that.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. This is an emotion tree. This is joy. You see those little leaves on it? Okay. So remember that. We've got joy, fear, anger, sadness, and a neutral tree. And I'm going to put in the comments here a link to these trees so you can print them out for yourself. And then also a link to a little exercise you can do in them. So what we do is we have an exercise called emotional muscle development. And we do it in class, and we just pick a random emotion. We also have this emotion wheel right here. So we pick a random emotion off this wheel, or this little other guy thing right here. And so just randomly, so my emotion I just picked right now is serene. So I wanted to explore that. So we lay down, get comfortable, and my voice plays, takes you through sort of a little meditation kind of. Just relaxes you and helps you get into the feeling. And one thing I really love about emotional muscle development is it helps you figure out how you feel things. So it's based on Meisner's emotional preparation, which is a great exercise. It's really specific for getting you ready to go into a scene and like getting you emotionally full for the moment before kind of thing, or the moment you walk on. So emotional muscle development is slightly different. It's more just like exploring the whole emotional capacity of the scene, and then finding out like, are you more auditory? Are you more kinesthetic? Do you taste things more with your feelings? What do you. So like Josh, what do you feel like? What have you discovered about like the way you feel stuff?
Well, the way I feel things is it all really depends on how or what the emotion is. For me, sometimes the emotion will make me feel memories or what I felt in that moment of a memory, or sometimes the emotion will make me feel.
So like a sense memory,
A sense
right?
memory,
So
yes.
sense memory is when you remember experiencing some kind of kinesthetic or some kind of emotional thing, like the taste of a cupcake, or on your third birthday, or when you skinned your knee and it just made you cry, or how you felt when you first saw the person you were going to marry, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's something from the past it's not just a memory, just like a normal memory but it's a very overpowering,
yes.
kinesthetic, visceral memory.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, depending on what the emotion is, I'll feel it in a certain part of my body, like maybe I'll feel really hot, or I'll like sweaty if like maybe nervous or something, or I'm burning up with anger where I can feel my blood, my circulation, my blood flowing, and stuff like that. So that's another way of how I felt too, and or the imagination running and having images or flashes of colors that make me feel a certain way too, based on whatever that emotion is as well. So.
Okay, cool. That's great. For me, I've realized I'm a very kinesthetic feeler. I get images and I feel things in my body a lot. So when I'm doing this emotional muscle development and like I'm exploring serene, maybe I'll see like a lake that's just really glass and smooth, or maybe some swans on it, and my body will just feel like floaty and tingly. So sometimes I get other things like auditory or taste or touch, but usually for me it's kinesthetic and visual. So this is a really good way to it's really good to find out like how do I feel things, how do I experience stuff, and then also not only like how do you experience stuff, but different emotions can be you can experience it in different ways as
Yes.
well. So the idea with this is once you do your emotional muscle development, you're gonna come up with some specifics from it. So you can see right here where it says serene. I did serene a little while ago. So what I wrote there oh, is I wrote down my cat Gypsy wearing a collar with a bell on it because my cat likes to hunt birds and it really upsets me. I love animals, and she'll bring in moths and birds. And so I got her this little collar that had a bell on it, and that scares away the birds. And so knowing her wearing that makes me feel serene. So if I needed to like have a scene where I needed to feel really serene or start out that way, I could think of that image. Then she promptly figured out how to take the collar off, and so she's not wearing the collar anymore. So I'm no longer serene, but it's okay. So there's lots of different things. So what you can do is you can write down stuff here, and you can also and when you'll do an emotion. So for me, serene made me feel joyful, so it went on my joy tree. Sometimes some emotions can go on lots of different trees. There's also a neutral tree. So like a neutral thing could be respected. I felt neutral. I felt like a Doberman was sitting in front of me, like, at attention kind of thing. Or there's different things. So, yeah, the idea is to start tracking your feelings and write them down. And then also you can go back and you're working on a scene and you can't quite, find something. You can look and go through this and see, oh, what was this? And I actually have hostile on my anger tree, which I don't think I'm a very hostile person. But doing this exercise, I realized there's a couple certain situations in my life that make me feel very hostile and very angry. So I could use that for a scene. I could use that for. You can also use this for writing as well. Yeah. So another thing you can do too, besides the emotion trees, is you can write a list of stuff that makes you feel stuff. I have a list like that. Like kittens make me feel really happy, and they're warm, and I can't think of anything else. Just like how I feel about my sister, just very specific stuff. And you can kind of stir your emotional pot by going through those sometimes, and and then also going to your trees as well. So Josh, do you have something more to share about this? You're digging through your book.
Well,
you should
yeah.
show him your book. He's got the book like super thick.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to find one of my trees. I have the old trees and the new trees.
Okay. Yeah, we had some old ones, and now we have new ones.
Yeah. But what I've noticed is as I do this more, it makes me more in tune with how I feel and how other things make me feel, and that's good to do that more to then be able to be more in tune, have that strengthened, because the emotional muscle development is strengthening that muscle to know how you feel as an individual or how other things make you feel, and to take note of that. And when you write things down, you're more likely to remember it and have that as a good reference. And that's been really helpful for me because I can think of an emotion that was really impactful and have access to that, to refer to that, to then bring that back, all those things that stirred within me, to use for whatever scene I'm doing.
Yeah. So how do you feel like, talk about your process a little bit. So in AIA, we really are, AACFT, we're really big on developing a fail-proof, fail-safe process for the actor. So you can always do your best work. So how do you feel like this has fit in to help you with your process? How's it helped you with your auditioning, your bookings and stuff?
Well, the way it's helped me is I can, just for example, the one audition that I did recently was a very confident person, and so it did help to have a reference of something or something close to confident that I felt was close, that I could refer to from my tree, to use with other inspirations and feelings that I've used from my process to help me get to where I need to be for the audition and how I need to feel for the audition.
So what did you use for that?
I was actually trying to look for
Oh,
that.
okay.
I think it might have actually been confidence or something that was
Mhm.
close to it, or maybe it was something where I felt excited or something that was really happy because I feel like confident people enjoy being confident or they are taking pleasure in what that they're so good at whatever they're doing. Maybe it was even arrogance. I don't know. I can't
Mhm.
remember. But
Mhm.
but using that in with the process because I also use like a lot of like music and just um, how I don't know, I move my body around and sometimes something natural happens to where that felt really natural and that's something I can add just doing the audition as part of my process and really feeling what I want as who I'm, whatever I'm doing in the audition.
Right.
Yeah, because I've been lately thinking about, which I guess has been really helping me, is what am I trying to do or what I want uh, from whatever place or area that I'm in, whatever I'm in, what I'm doing there, what am I trying to get? What do I need, and what do I need to do to get that? And that's been really helping me too. And my imagination's been helping too of putting myself literally there.
So when you're acting, you think about that.
Yeah.
What do I want, and what am I doing to get what I want?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
which is really the basis of acting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like where I did a diner audition, and it was so helpful for me to picture myself at the diner and be there and trying to, because in the scene I'm trying to order, and this lady is, well, there's a waitress there, and this girl I'm with is just being a butthead, basically. And I'm just trying to order, have a good time, no big deal. She's like causing problems, smoking in there. The waitress has an issue with it. I'm like looking like she's there, and then the person's here, and so I'm trying to order, and it's just like she'll just get whatever. Just yeah, she's having a bad day. So yeah.
Yeah, it was an awesome audition.
Thanks.
His auditions lately have been super, super killer, and he's just been nailing it, so it's great. Yeah, so this is just a great thing to do. Now, of course, in acting, we don't want to push our emotions, we don't want to force anything. This is really about freeing yourself up so you can feel stuff. This exercise that I'm going to put on here um, helps with lots of things. It helps open up you so you can feel more. It can help you mind certain emotions. There's just a trillion things you can do with it. As actors, our emotions are what we use. It's like our whole thing, right? So
and I definitely feel that
to be able to do that
as you do it more, you it's easier to get there, if that makes sense. Because when you're super in tune in how you feel and what makes you feel a certain way, that as you practice this more, it's just real easy to just get there.
Yeah, it's so much easier. It's so much faster. At first, it might seem like I can't feel anything, or I'm not going anywhere, or I'm forcing my emotions, or whatever. If you keep doing it, it totally will undo. So here, I just posted this for you guys, and on the YouTube channel, I'm going to put this on there too. So we have emotional muscle development recording. It's on YouTube. It's just me talking. It's a 10-minute relaxation thing where you pick an emotion. You can pick any emotion you want. Or you can just feel the emotion that you're feeling is fine too. And you just go on this sort of meditation with it. And then there's also a link to my website with the emotion trees where you can print this out. So I recommend you print them out, put them in a little folder, just start exploring with this. I just had a thought too. It could be really fun is for the arc of a character. Like say you're in a big play or a movie or something, and the character has lots of different emotional arcs. You could totally use these trees. It's like here we're in, this part is this more sad, and this is a more, and just again, we don't want to push ourselves with this. You don't want to force emotion, but if you can open up, and if you have an emotional map, you can at least know what the writer is asking for and what the director is going to need, and you can be able to supply those moments for them and tell the story, because it's about storytelling. That's what we do as actors. It's all, we're telling stories, and we have to be able to hit those moments and allow that emotional emotionality to be there in a spontaneous, real way, or it's not going to work.
In a very natural way of responding and being in that emotion is how this has helped me. So.
Yeah. So it just takes practice.
Yeah.
But this is a fun little way to go at it, to look at it. So, okay, I think that's all we got today, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Have a great one. If you have any questions, just go ahead and get a hold of me here. All right. Bye. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks.